Imagine investing millions of dollars in a reselling company that ends up just stealing it from you, all while they lie to your face. Yeah, welcome back into the channel, Rockstars. This story out of Las Vegas is wild. What is with all the news coming out of Las Vegas, Nevada lately? 2025 is not Vegas's year, not mine in Vegas and not anyone else's apparently, but this story is a big one and it's totaling up to $2 billion in fraud. And so here's how it goes. A married couple in Las Vegas, owned what sounds like a detailing company and maybe some sort of a car resale company where they would buy cars and resell them overseas or possibly just here in the United States, but also overseas was the key of this fraud. And so what they started telling investors was that they could help them buy cars, expensive cars, like a $500,000 Rolls Royce, which is like a sticker price on some of these high-end Rolls Royces. And then they would be able to export them into countries where it was very difficult to get those cars, like Thailand and other places. And they had wealthy buyers, Singapore, Thailand, Hong Kong, things like that, Southeast Asia mostly, because it sounds like these two were of Southeast Asian descent. And then those cars would be worth a bunch more money when they got overseas, and then they would make a great profit and everybody would make money. And here's the huge red flags, you guys. Number one, the reason that these cars are hard to get in a lot of these countries is because they have really strict import laws, they have really strict car laws, and they have really strict taxes and surcharges and things to get it over there. That's why it's really hard. Newsflash, there's a lot of rich people in Southeast Asia who can get these cars because they have a lot of money. They don't need some random couple in Las Vegas, Nevada to buy them a car and ship it over. Just saying. So the investors fell for this hook, line, and sinker. And then the second red flag, for example, on this $500,000 Rolls Royce, they were telling them they would sell it for $7.5 million. A $7 million profit. That's insane. Even if there was profits to be made, and I've seen it happen where they can export a car, you can make a few hundred grand. I don't know that even $1 million is possible on these high-end cars, but a few hundred, $7 million profit on one Rolls Royce is not going to happen. So the investors did what most investors do, and they fall for these Ponzi schemes so easily. So they gave them all this money. This couple bought a bunch of high-end cars and boats. They were also talking about boats with the money, and then they went and lived a lavish lifestyle. They had a $2 million house. They took a $40,000 trip to drive a boat in Missouri. They drove these fancy cars. They had jewelry and purses and bags and all this stuff. It's a crazy story, guys. If somebody asks you to invest money with them, 3 ways to know almost immediately if it's a scam or not. So number one is that the profits and the return on your investment are absolutely ridiculous. Bernie Madoff used to promise like thousands of % interest and profit. It's just not possible, right? Like the high-end investment accounts right now making 8, 10, 12% are the good ones. They're the great ones. Somebody's offering to invest your money and make you 300%, they're lying. Like, it's not possible. Number two is that they don't have a history or an experience doing it. You should be able to call people and ask if they've done business with them in the past and they've bought in or helped finance deals and made money on it. That's super easy. There should be references. There should be a line of people. And I don't mean other investors. I mean people that have actually cashed out, made the money, and have been part of multiple deals for long term. And the third thing is it's just gotta make sense. If your gut tells you no, go with your gut, guys. So if you called me up and you said, hey, I'd like to make some money, and I'm like, hey, there's a truckload of clothes, we can buy it for 10 grand, let's both go in $5,000, it's probably worth 30, 40,000 bucks, we're gonna make a $20,000 profit after everything, we'll both make 10 grand, well, that's realistic, right? It's gonna take a month. That's realistic. If I called you and said, hey, I got this tractor trailer load, we're both gonna put 5 grand in, and we're gonna make $500,000, well, that's not realistic. Your gut should immediately go, well, that's too good to be true, right? That's it, guys. That's how it works. And so I've done business with my partner, Tim, and with Dave, you know, Drive Time with Dave, and Chris Thompson from CNC, and all these people, Katie and Vicky Zilverberg, and now doing business with Tony over in Liquid Tiger. And all these people can vouch for everything that I've done. And I would never try to tell you I could buy a $500,000 Rolls Royce and sell it for $7.5 million in Singapore. Let's take a look at the $2 billion luxury car scam story. Let's pop it up on the side of the screen here, and I will show you exactly what we're talking about. All right, so here we go. The Las Vegas couple running the $2 billion luxury car scheme gambled their last $10,000 in a poker tournament. So this is par for the course with scammers. Generally, they're really bad with their finances. They're in real bad financial trouble, and they're looking for a way out of it. And these scams are the best way that they can come up with. A la our good friend, Nicole the Snake. A lot of times, I believe, in my opinion, that the reason she comes up with these schemes and scams and starts bringing in a ton of money is because she's in some sort of bill or financial situation where she needs to pay something off, and she just wants to collect the money, pay what she has to pay, and she'll figure out the fallout from it later. That's how a Ponzi scheme works. So, out of Las Vegas, the couple told investors they could net billions of dollars. Again, not realistic. Billions, all of a sudden you're going to be billionaires? It's not realistic, right? By selling luxury cars and boats to overseas buyers who police suspect never existed, according to the documents that News 8 obtained. The revelations came from a 94-page arrest warrant for Jong Ri, 45, and Nilufar Ri, 34, who Las Vegas Metro Police took into custody on May the 22nd. Each is facing dozens of charges for allegedly persuading people to invest in luxury items, saying the assets would be resold to overseas buyers at massive profit margins. However, detectives suspect that no buyers ever existed. Of course they didn't, because no buyer is going to give them $7.5 million for a Rolls Royce that's available here for $500,000. That buyer, if they had $7.5 million, would just come to the U.S., they would buy it, and they'd figure out how to get it back. Zhang Ri allegedly promised investors he could make money in the scheme to acquire high-value exotic cars. Wealthy clients in Singapore would then buy the cars, delivering a $2.5 billion profit off of a $57 million investment because of the country's import restrictions. So he was trying to drum up $57 million in total money, said he was going to buy all these cars, sell them all, and the total comeback would be $2.5 billion. The couple conducted the alleged fraud scheme through two of their businesses, Twisted Twins Motorsports and Lusso Auto Spa. So Auto Spa typically means a detailing company. Twisted Twin Motorsports, either a customizing shop, graphics, engine work, usually something along those lines. Maybe they were flipping some cars. Excuse me. State business records indicate that the Rees are associated with businesses in Las Vegas and Henderson. Henderson just outside of Vegas, it's like a suburb. Metro detectives suspect the couple netted the $57 million for purchasing 7 high-value motor vehicles by materially fraudulent misrepresentation. In all, detective lists dozens of high-end and exotic cars and boats, including Bugattis, Porsches, and Rolls Royces. If you don't know what a Bugatti is, it's a $1 million to $2 million car generally, and sometimes more. One investor was allegedly promised a hefty return on an investment from the overseas purchases. Records showed Zhang Ri never contacted anyone to sell the vehicles in question for $2 billion. In one case involving the 2024 Rolls-Royce Spectre, Zhang Ri said he could receive $7.5 million for the vehicle, which has a value of $526,000. That's correct. They're about $500,000 here. Another involving a $3.9 million boat involved a $13.5 million Singaporean purchase. Almost $10 million in profit on a single boat. A $3.9 million boat here is a very, very nice boat. It's a very nice 50, 60-foot boat, even maybe bigger, but selling it for $13.5 million overseas, not happening. Last July, Ree reportedly paid $60,000 for he and his wife to fly in a private plane to Missouri to go boating. The boat the pair and their friends rode on that weekend was supposed to be sold in his overseas connections. Police also said they attempted to buy a bar and a home in Lake Havasu, Arizona, and traveled with the investors' money to California. In October, a judge signed off on a warrant to search their $2 million Henderson home and business. As part of the search, they seized dozens of high-end cars. Detectives also obtained text messages between the couple, which made it evident that they were under intense pressure due to mounting debts, delayed payments, and unreliable business partners. In an April 24 text from Zhang Ri, he said, "We are in big trouble money." Another text read, "Right now, our lives are on the line." Of course they are. You're going to jail. The couple became so desperate that in 2024, he spent their last $10,000 to gamble in the World Series of Poker. That's desperation for you, right? Not the best place to put 10 grand. I'm not gonna lie. He frequently gambled and played poker. Again, financial troubles. He participated in similar tournaments to the World Series of Poker, which required significant buy-in amounts, and Zhang would often spend several days playing poker. On July 8, 2024, while at a poker event, Zhang told Nilufar, "I don't think I've lost 99% 4 times in my whole life, now 4 times in 1 month," and he believed a big win would solve all their money issues. People are always chasing the next dollar, right? They're facing 78 felony charges, including racketeering, money laundering, forgery, records said. Based on redactions in court documents, it was not clear how many alleged victims were in the case. 57 million, even if you've gotten $1 million out of each, is 57 people. If you got $500,000 out of people, it could be 100 plus victims. They both posted a $100,000 bail. Wonder how they posted a $100,000 bail. I know you only got to pay 10%, 10 grand, but still they have no money. They're using investors' money to post the bail. They're not rescheduled to return to court until June 9th, which was like 3 days ago. Two other people, Crispin de Guzman and John Baldwin, were also facing charges connected to the case. Guys, be smart with your money if you're investing. I'm not saying never invest money. I'm not saying don't do business deals with people. I'm saying invest your money in the market in places where it's mostly safe. The market is a little volatile, but even crypto is a huge risk, right? Especially if you're investing in some scheme or scam. But if somebody says they want to buy inventory, they want to resell, it could be a luxury Rolls Royce, it could be a truckload of clothes, it could be a pallet of remotes, it could be anything, right? If you're investing in that, make sure that you do your due diligence. Make sure the person has a history, a positive history, reviews, clients, financial records you can look at and see with like not being forged, not being copied and pasted and photoshopped. Make sure that it makes sense. Make sure it's not unrealistic. There are a lot of ways to prevent being scammed in a Ponzi scam like this, where somebody just takes your investment money and lives a lavish life off of it and then never actually pays you back. So just be sure you know what you're getting into and do your due diligence. That's all I'm saying, guys. $2 billion scam out of Las Vegas, and it was actually 57 million, but the feds like to make it sound good. So 2 billion for the sake of argument. Again, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel and come back for more. And make sure you go check out the links in the description box below where eBay is now promoting their live selling. I will link it below along with Amazon's instant discount page. If you don't know about the Amazon instant coupon page, do yourself a favor. Go check it out below. You'll love me later. Thank me later. And both of those are affiliate links that will help the channel and earn me a little bit of commission. So I appreciate that as well. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.